Medorrhinum is a fascinating and often missed constitutional type. It spans extremes of temperament, from introverted to extroverted, from kind to cruel, from intellectual and detached to highly emotional and intuitive. Medorrhinums are adventurers. Some explore the physical world, fearlessly drinking in the nectar of new experiences as they travel the globe. Some explore the world of emotion, forming one intense relationship after another, often with widely differing personalities. Others explore the vast vistas of intellectual ideas, devouring philosophies as early as they devour scientific theories and developments. And some take heady excursions into the realms of imagination and mystical insight. Most Medorrhinums are enthusiastic adventurers in all of these aspects of life, willing to learn from the unknown and optimistic that they will survive its perils. The average Medorrhinum individual is as down-to-earth and objective as he is passionate and adventurous. There is a detached, intellectual aspect of the Medorrhinum character that enables him to learn a great deal from his diverse experiences. Medorrhinum wants to experience everything in life and to understand it, and is generally well equipped to this end, intellectually, emotionally and physically. The Medorrhinum patient is generally open and friendly in the consulting room. He usually interacts enthusiastically but maintains a certain self-possession and objectivity, the man of the world, who has experienced a lot in life, who loves the world and life itself, but is able to take it in his stride. The women are generally confident and intellectually objective, without surrendering any of their femininity. The men are passionate and emotionally sensitive without appearing weak or effeminate. Medorrhinum is one of the more individualistic types. They are not really a stubborn person. They tends to do his own thing but not willfully. This is probably because he is less attached to his desires. Although most Medorrhinums are free thinkers, they are seldom loners. They enjoy stimulating company too much for that. Being all-rounders, they usually have an ability to get on with all types of people. In relationships, Medorrhinum is warm without being possessive. She likes to keep in touch with a wide range of people and is likely to understand if her partner does the same. The more prosaic expression of Medorrhinum's imaginative faculty is daydreaming. These daydreams were entirely under his control. Others slip into a kind of fugue state, in which they feel far away from everything. This is very commonly reported by the Medorrhinum patient and may be his principal complaint. It is described in various ways. Some say that their head feels woolly, whilst others describe it as a feeling of being separated or far away from everything, as if they are witnessing ordinary events from somewhere else, from another dimension. Yet others say they feel spacey, meant that their mind seems to be expanded. This sense of detachment and expansion is very characteristic of Medorrhinum, especially during times of stress. Medorrhinum's tendency to space out gives rise to a very characteristic fear, that of going insane. One characteristic of Medorrhinum that is pure diagnostically when volunteered but virtually worthless when specifically elicited, is the feeling that someone is behind them in the dark. This feeling is extremely common amongst Medorrhinum individuals and sometimes is so strong that it prevents them from going out alone at night. These unusual perceptions appear to be more common in Medorrhinum women than men. Most Medorrhinum men are more or less fearless. Medorrhinum will feel anxious before some major life event such as getting married or moving house. This is not a fear of failure, but rather a sense of losing control, which may result in an irrational fear that something awful will happen. Several Medorrhinum women have fear of deep water, although they could swim. It is well known that Medorrhinum feels better after sunset. This is true not only physically but also emotionally. More specifically, Medorrhinum switches at sunset from the rational, objective mode of being to the more spontaneous, lyrical and romantic mode. In such a state he sees the world more from the viewpoint of the poet or the artist and is disinclined to pursue logical trains of thought. He may be quite happy keeping down an office job from 9 to 5, so long as he can switch off in the evening and enjoy the beauty of life. Thus expanded, non-rational part of Medorrhinum's experience tendency to be very enjoyable, and results in Medorrhinum being an optimistic in most cases. This optimism is generally well-founded, since being an all-rounder with a good degree of common sense, Medorrhinum can usually attract good times and avoid the pitfalls. One weakness of Medorrhinum that is related to the tendency to become absent or spaced out, is a tendency to forget words, particularly nouns. Medorrhinum lives either in the present or in future, and this gives rise to a very peculiar forgetfulness. The inability to remember what has just been said, what he was about to say, what has just been done, or what he did yesterday. He may be able to retain all the facts he needs to sit an important examination, but he quite unable to tell you what he had for breakfast. Or he may run to top of stairs, and then be unable to remember what he had gone upstairs for. In this sense, Medorrhinum is sometimes scatterbrained and unfocused. This lack of focus is usually mild but can become extreme as a result of stress and also from abusing drugs and drive the patient to seek help from a homeopath. Yet another Medorrhinum characteristic associated with the tendency to space out, and with the mental wildness inside is hurriedness. The sense of being out of control mentally leads to a kind of panic, which in turn leads to hurriedness of both thought and action.